And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. I just want to say that Alex and I are very happy to be able to review Birdies. This is a movie that was sent in to me by the producer of Birdies, and I hope that we do the review justice. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Meanwhile, going ahead and also to rate us on Good Pods and also to Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. That just helps the audience to be able to find us even more. But further ado, we're going to get on with our review for Birdies. All right, and we're back. So here's the thing. This movie is called Birdies. This is an indie film that came out in 2022 this year. And it's about about this golf organization out in called Twin Pines, a failing country club where maintaining a buzz is par for the course. And they hire a new golf pro to help them get back on track before their rivals at the smoothie Magnolia Pointe puts them out of business for good. This movie has like a very 90s kind of vibe to it, kind of like an Adam Sandler kind of vibe from Happy Gilmore. This also has moments of where I feel like the main character from the villain side has like a Shooter McGavin kind of feel to him, and also too a little bit of Will Ferrell. I can definitely see a little bit of Will Ferrell in that too.
Oh, for sure.
But what do you think?
Oh, yeah, right away. I was just like, yeah, this feels like my childhood of watching movies I'm not supposed to be watching. You know? But it was cool. Like what immediately caught my attention when the movie started is it's panning over the golf course. I was like, this looks really good. Like I wouldn't have thought it was an indie film. Like this looks like a movie that I would see in the theaters. Like how it's filmed and edited, it's nice looking. I was like, okay, good start.
I have to say the same thing, to be honest with you. It has a very good fresh start with it. The country club actually looks like a country club. Normally,
Mm-hmm.
when you see small indie projects, you can say, yeah, okay, maybe one or two scenes feels like a country club. But this legitimately feels like a country club. You're actually within this world of this country club that's struggling to stay off the ground. And then, of course, we're also introduced to this other guy who winds up supposed to be like the savior of saving them, which is Jake Baxter, who winds up being a pest control person who comes out there to exterminate the premises, and only to find out that he's also used to be a pro golfer back in the college days. And of course, with partying and everything else that went along, it also strained his relationship with his girlfriend Brandy. And ironically, my fiance's name is Brandy. But, anyways,
Any negative things we say about Brandy, we're talking about movie Brandy, not real life Brandy. Real life Brandy is awesome.
Exactly. But I like how, the father's like, oh, you're nothing but a schmuck. You're just a mess up anyways, and things like that. And then basically this is like a zero going into a hero kind of situation where now he's being looked upon through this country club to save the day. I like the opening, though, too, about how the country club was actually discovered by the father and son, and then the father tells the son, okay, now nail it. Nail all your diaper strength into it, to the nail. And then he winds up saying, now don't fuck it up.
that caught me off guard. He just kind of said it under his breath and just don't fuck it up. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, all right, cool. This is going to be this kind of movie. I'm excited.
Right? Just the introduction pretty much sets the tone.
Mm-hmm. I loved meeting the whole cast in that beginning. Everyone was hilarious, especially Nick, who's played by
Nate Canning is
yeah, he was my favorite by far. He was hilarious, and I loved. I'm sorry, I keep throwing away the cast list. Ryan O'Flanagan as Jake. I loved how he kind of had like a dry, sarcastic humor to him, but he was more serious, where everyone else is like next level crazy. And I thought that works. I always love that kind of comedy where just one person's more realistic, but everyone else is a cartoon character. And so it's
Right.
just him reacting to whatever craziness is going on. Like, that was the best part of this movie for me.
Same here, especially the looks that he gives Brandy and also the guys too, like they're out of their freaking minds. You know what I mean? And then also too, he's like, wait, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. You guys are drinking? Really? Yeah, this is what we do. Don't we supposed to do something with the country club? Nah, it fixes itself. And
It
that's
runs
when
itself. We've been out here since 7, actually, so it's fine.
right? And that's what Nate winds up telling him. That's what Nick winds up telling him. He goes, it fixes itself. It's all good. Come on, have yourself a cold one on us. And of course, they don't even have enough money to even fix the country club to begin with. So of course, when they hire this this pest control person, which is, he comes over there, and then of course he's introduced by Nick, and Nick winds up saying, hey, look, so how about that discount? There isn't a discount. Well, I really like the discount. And so Nick is basically trying to hustle him into giving them a clubhouse discount. So Nick decides, hey, you know what? I think that you're pretty good with the golf club, so I'll just go on ahead and give you some golf balls to knock around a little bit. How about that? He goes, well, I guess
the driver.
Right, just get that drive going. And so that's when, of course, we wind up seeing Rick. He winds up accepting the offer, and then, of course, that's when he winds up giving them discount, just exterminate the premises. But even the guy who is also, I just want to mention this, though, too, the main character of this, which is Conroy. And Conroy is actually the little boy that was at the very beginning of the thing. And he's also dealing with alcoholism, and he's also dealing with... Everyone's dealing with
alcoholism.
Everybody's an alcoholic in this world.
Pretty much.
But it has a very Caddyshack kind of feel to it, though, too. That's something else that I liked. It has an 80s and 90s kind of feel. That's another thing I want to mention. But another thing, too, that I really have to say that I thought was funny was I like how Conroy's over there on the dating app and everything. Oh, so another loose end on the dating world, huh? He goes, no, this time it's a dating app.
I was like, getting in a relationship should be the least of your priorities right now. You got a business to run. Your dad already told you not to fuck it up, and here you are fucking it up.
And you know what? There was a deeper part of me that was thinking, okay, was just the expectations of the father was the reason why he was going through all this stuff? And basically knowing that he can't exceed that expectation, therefore that's why he's going through this. I know it's a comedy, but I kind of went on a deeper route too.
Yeah, I was just watching it. I was like, oh, what happened? So I wonder what happened. Like something between the transition of ownership from father to son, like something must have went down for the place to have like just fallen apart. Like, is he upset about like his dad dying? Was the alcoholism like actually a really big factor in it? Like they didn't really explore that, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit of backstory on that, just so I'm like, okay, but why is everything so shitty?
Right. Instead of him making it look like he just doesn't give a crap, because we understand he doesn't care up until the point where his whole entire pro center has to go ahead and go up against the protein guys. So that's the only time that we actually see him caring a little bit,
Yeah, it's just like I wanted to like him more, but it's just like, all right, I need more motivation, because like you're all of a sudden you're like all about saving the golf course, but yet you don't care about it. So like I just needed something more from that, and then Conroy would have been my fave.
I agree. Then, Rick is also dealing with, of course, his girlfriend, Brandy. She doesn't like the fact that he even deals with the fact that he's going into golfing again, because the last time he went into some bad stuff, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I liked how he comes home and goes, hey, baby, what's going on? He goes, oh, I made da-da-da-da for you. Oh, okay. Just, how was work? Well, I got a new job. No, you got fired. And I get to be a new pro player. And she goes, no, you didn't just land that job. You were fired, and that's what you took. But she still doesn't like the idea of him playing golf. And matter of fact, she winds up taking some joys and pleasuring herself and also teasing him at the same time, which I'm like,
when she pulled out the giant dildo, she's like, I have a new friend. I'm like, oh my God. She just starts hitting him with it. I'm like, oh, that looks like it hurts. It sounded like it was thick.
it was very thick,
but it sounded thick too. It's just like, oh my God. You better not use that without me.
Can I get my keys at least?
And she just had it sitting there, just everywhere in the house. It was just sitting there, just flopping around.
Just a reminder, don't go to golf.
Don't do golf.
But what else did you like about this, though?
Oh, well, especially the comment, like, back on that dildo again, if I can talk about the dildo just a little bit more. That scene where they're in the bed and she starts using the dildo on herself. And then he's like, you know what, and he starts masturbating. He's like, oh, they just have a moan off competition. He's like, oh, this feels better.
Right, because it's like, as guys, though, when girls do that to us and everything, we think that we can actually get back with them, get even with them by doing something like that. It doesn't do anything to them at all. They have, like, I have to say, they have major balls when it comes down to that. You know, it's like, I don't care. I'm getting myself off. I don't know what you're going to do, but I know what I'm doing.
I was just in, like, disbelief watching that scene. I'm like, am I really just watching these two people masturbate? Like, out of anger. It's just, oh, I'm better than you. I was like, oh, this movie is wild for that.
It definitely is. And, you know, another thing, too, is when Nick comes around and everything, and the golf course and everything, too, it's always the quiet moments that he comes around and just comes out of nowhere and just randomly says something, or he's loud to the point where it's like, okay, that moment is now gone. Whatever moment that you might have is actually gone. So I like Nick, how spontaneous he is, especially when we wind up seeing Conroy coming out of the hospital from having a heart attack. And then he's like, surprise!
He keeps scaring us. We did it, guys. They sucked at surprises. We finally got it. Take a shot. No, I just had a heart attack. He'll be all right.
Right.
I thought this movie did comedy really well, especially like just in the subtle comedy of it was really good. Like when they were all about to drive home, and Nick just gets in his truck and drives a few feet to his trailer.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing that Rick says to him. He goes, "Be careful driving." Okay, man, I will. Next thing you know,
he was like, "Are you good to drive home?" Yeah, I got my license.
Whenever he said that, I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything, dude? You're gonna get into a car accident. Next thing you know, you don't even realize that he lives right on the golf course.
Did you just drive from there to there? Yeah, I was over there.
Yeah.
And I drove here. And I'm like, Nick is my spirit animal.
I really like him. Then, of course, you also get introduced to the other guys, though. You also have Emily. You also have... What's the other girl that was actually dating Nick?
Bread.
Yeah, Bread. Which I thought the chemistry between them both worked out, to be honest. I thought that they bounced off each other great.
Yeah. I actually didn't know they were in a relationship until the scene where they just kissed each other. And I was like, right. Where did that come from? I didn't know they were together.
Right. That came out in left field, but just them joking and going back and forth between each other and everything worked for me. But the relationship thing was a total surprise. I'm like, okay, when did you guys become in a relationship all of a sudden? You know?
I thought they were just like bickering friends. You know, type of friends that always argue with each other. And then when they started kissing, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this.
And then there's also the other thing, too, though. I mean, the thing that I can say is it's not a cliche thing where basically we know that Brandy doesn't like Rick doing golfing or anything like that. But the total cliche thing is... Huh?
You mean Jake?
Oh, Brandy. Yeah, Brandy and Jake.
Jake.
Yeah.
I was like, Rick.
Yeah. But, you know, with Brandy and him, I felt like this. I'm glad it wasn't a cliche thing where basically, okay, they break up. Now she's going to go after the girl, Emily, who winds up having the same interest that he has. It was
Yeah,
primarily, yeah, that's something that I really like because we see that all the time.
I thought it was going to go that direction. I was like, okay, girlfriend's very upset and mean. Then you have this one girl, Emily, that they introduced just a little bit. And I'm like, oh, she's really into golf. Like, oh, those two are going to get together. But they didn't do that. So I was like, okay, avoid the cliche. Good.
Right. That's what I liked about it, though. It primarily focuses just on the golf tournament itself, and that's all he focuses on. It's
Yeah.
just that. It's just that, and that's his center because that's his comeback. This is an underdog coming back from people downing him all the time and things like that. Then also too, you have this snobby rich people that have this big, huge golf course and everything too, and they are ridiculous as they come.
I didn't know. I couldn't. It was hard to gauge them. It was like, are they too over the top where it's not funny, but then they would do something that was just so hilarious and I would love them. Like anytime they would just talk mess to Thomas. And I'm like, poor Thomas, he's the punching bag of the group. It was just like, yeah, fuck you, Thomas. High five me. And I'm like, no, poor Thomas.
I felt bad for him. I felt
like,
bad
Thomas
for Thomas.
is better than you.
Then also too, is it just me or does the other get the frat guy, the one that who always gives, Jake a hard time with who happens to be the brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Is it just me or does he look like something off of an anime cartoon? Just the way he has his hair dyed.
His hair is super blonde. I was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just perfect. So blonde. It was damn near white, like a Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Right? And then even Jake says it. Did you dye your hair more blonde? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
This is natural.
Natural.
You know what he reminded me of? He reminded me of Ben Stiller from Dodgeball. I got that vibe from him. Just kind of how over the top he was, and it worked. It worked for this type of movie.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Touche. But yeah, I could definitely see a little bit of that in them too, but also some Will Ferrell though too.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Will Ferrellisms in it though too, at least to me. Mixed with some Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. If I can be honest about something, no one start a riot over this. I haven't seen Happy Gilmore. I know it's a golf movie. I know Adam Sandler is an angry golfer.
And that's all you know.
And that's as far as I got.
You need to check that movie out, though. I mean, it's great. It's a great comedy. And you know what, though? You're not going to get crucified for not seeing that movie or anything like that. But I do want you to, whenever you do check it out, let me know what you think of it. Seriously, it's a great comedy. I'm not going to hold that against you, bro. Nah.
Suddenly, I just get a bunch of comments like, fuck Alex, he hasn't seen Happy Gilmore.
What do you mean? That movie's been out for 30 years. What are you talking about?
I just missed it.
Yes, that's fine. But back over to Birdies.
Birdies.
But still, the thing that I have to say though too that I really enjoyed about this was now we have Conroy after he gets out of the hospital and everything. He's realizing, look, I made a bet with the other guy now, so now I have to go on ahead. We have to fully focus in on this. And I like how all of them are watching all the golfers, and of course they're doing the tryouts and stuff. And then Emily looks at Jake. She goes, I don't know what the hell these guys been doing, but I've been golfing.
I was like, yeah, she's in. She's definitely in the team. I loved those two guys. I forgot their names. It was the gay guy and what are their names? I loved them. They were funny. It's just
Sansky or
yes, Sansky.
Yes, Sansky.
Yeah, Sansky, and there was one more.
Dog leg, I think.
Dog leg.
Yeah.
I think. Yep. That was it.
Yeah.
They were hilarious, and I was like, I hope they're really good at. I hope they're just for no reason good at golf because I want to see more of them. But they weren't.
No.
Oh, and when he gets bit on the butt by the snake, he's like, "You got to suck out the poison," and they're just, oh
And while
god,
that's going on, you have Jake who's getting high on LSD from
yeah,
Nick. He goes, "You got to clear your mind. You have to be one." And then there's actually Injo that's there with him, and he goes, "Yes, just be one. It's gonna open your mind." And so next thing you know, you wind up seeing Jake naked in in a blanket, walking as as the two gay guys are actually sucking the poison out of the guy is sucking the poison out of the guy's butt.
oh, I was just like, this movie goes too far out of the blue, and that was so crazy that you had the like the protein team
Yeah,
driving
doing a
up,
tour.
and they just look, it's just oh, driving up on that. That was, oh god, that was,
I like how they're going through the golf course though too. Like they're making fun of the golf course because of how bad it is.
they're just roasting it the whole time. Like these dudes are such jerks, and I love it so much.
I do too. And then of course, then when we see them see the two gay guys and everything too, they're just like, "What the hell?" They have the same looks that we had. Like, what the hell is going
Like,
on?
oh my god, this is crazy.
Then, of course, we wind up seeing the frat guy that's actually married, that's actually the brother-in-law to Jake. And he goes, "I'm going to be telling Brandy about this. Just wait." And he's like,
Tell him, Brandy.
"Don't tell Brandy." And then, of course, this is when he comes home and he goes, and then I like how they do the outline of the purple inside
Yeah.
of us to make him look like he's wigged out of his mind.
So, still high. He's still high. Probably shouldn't have this conversation.
And then he goes, "Baby, it was me. It was all me. I messed up. I was the one who cheated. I was the one who did the drugs." And I loved how he opened up to the guys on the golf course about this, about all the drugs he did.
It was a single night. Oh,
It sounds
I
like
was
a
like
great week.
calculating that on my hand. I'm like, could you survive doing all that? 100 something beers, cocaine, LSD. Like, I think at a certain point, your body just dies.
Well, there was also one drug he did that I would know for a fact that will knock you the hell out, and you wouldn't be doing any of that stuff because you actually have to literally you would actually have to have a shot and be stabbed. You know what I'm saying? You would actually have to inject it into your body
Oh man.
and then pass out. So he got tore up.
He got something.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that involves me injecting something inside me, no.
No.
Most drugs, no. Just drugs. Only the drugs my doctors give me
Same here.
for my migraines.
That's all I do. But I did like that part where he opened up to him, to Brandy, and also to the guys though too, and then he acknowledged the fact that he was the one who screwed up. It wasn't her.
Yeah. My issue with his relationship with Brandy though is because they say at some point that it was like 7 years ago when he did all that messed up stuff, and that's why she's mad at him. And I'm like, I understand why she's mad at him. Like, done a bunch of drugs, kind of ruined his life, cheated on her. that actually was funny when he was like, "Yeah, I cheated. I knew she found out when I invited her to join us, to join me in the hookers, and at that point she knew I was cheating on her." I'm like, duh.
Duh, she knew.
like I understand her being upset, but that was like 7 years ago. So I was just like, oh, you guys haven't, in those 7 years, you're still upset about it? Like, you'd think you either broken up by now or you've moved on past it. Like if it was just like a year ago, I'm like, okay, that's believable. That something like that takes a while to heal, but 7 years? I was like,
She's not letting it go.
Yeah, I was like, at this point, it's like, okay, it's kind of on her now.
Exactly. Derby, I want to say this though, out of respect to the producers and everything too. I wouldn't say that it's a wannabe trying to be Caddyshack, to be honest with you. I want to say that it's inspired. I think Caddyshack probably inspired them to do something like this, or Happy Gilmore inspired them to do this, or any kind of sports or golf movie probably inspired them to make this film. So I wouldn't put it on the category of a wannabe kind of film because each director, producer, or whatever finds inspiration somewhere to come up with something. And, sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on how it's received and how certain people might pick it up or whatever. But I wouldn't call this a wannabe. This is actually just an original autistic. Not autistic. What's the word I'm thinking of? Autistic.
Artistic.
Yeah, artistic. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I would like to say
definitely not the other one.
But yeah, it's definitely authentic. That's what I'm thinking of. Authentic. And
the other A word.
Right. I would have to say it's very authentic, and it has a clever way of actually giving you the full shot of where the ball is actually landing. Because in some movies, they don't show you exactly where the ball lands sometimes or anything like that either. Mm-hmm. They just go on ahead, they go to the next shot, and that's it. This one, they actually focus in on the ball, and they show you where the ball actually lands. I do appreciate something like that. But
I wish I was more into golf because, like, during the tournament scene, I know we'll talk more about it in a bit. During the tournament scene, I was just like, I think they're doing good. I was like, everyone's hitting the balls pretty well. I don't know who's winning.
You see, I know a lot about the rules of golf, but I don't watch golf because I find golf as kind of a snoozer for me. But I'm not anybody that's. Here's the thing: I'm not against anyone who loves golf, but it's just not my sport. It's not my cup of tea. But I do understand it. But we can talk about the golf tournament though too. I mean, because I thought the commentators on the golf thing made me laugh the whole entire time. Because, and not only that, but you're not even allowed to swear as a commentator on golf. You're not allowed to even do any of the stuff that they were doing, flipping each other off. And otherwise they get flagged by their sponsorships, and then therefore they're actually kicked off the whole entire tournament for doing something like that.
I would watch golf more if golfers were allowed to flip each other. Like,
me too.
I'd be like, ooh, this is getting spicy. I'll watch some golf.
But yeah, most definitely. I'd be watching golf like that all the time if people were just angry at each other, flipping each other off and everything. It's everything that I would want golf to be, like a hockey game out on the golf course. That's how I would like it. Most definitely, Brandy. Most definitely, babe.
Hi, good Brandy. This is the real Brandy. Is the best Brandy.
Not the character Brandy off of the movie.
Yeah.
But tell me more what you some of the other stuff that you liked about it, though.
I just really liked the bonding between all the co-workers. I thought these were most of the relationships were genuine. Romantic relationships, not as much. Those felt just kind of out of the blue, especially with Nick and Fred. That just shocked me. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then Conroy and the one woman he starts going out with towards the end, I felt like she just kind of showed up out of the blue too. I'm like, oh, I could have done without that, but the relationships between Conroy and Nick and Jake, like that stuff was really nice to watch. Like they're all goofballs, but they all genuinely cared about each other. And that was real sweet to watch. I was like, these guys are the homies. I would like to work at this place. I wouldn't be drinking all the time.
Because I'll be running my golf cart into everybody. But you know what, though? I do appreciate them being brothers like that and being friends like that and have that respect for each other and have each other's backs like that.
Yeah.
And also, too, even the black dude that got denied at the very beginning of the film came on their side. And that's what helped them out with their game as well. But I like how well respected they are, especially with Conroy. And after everything was been said and done, whenever you have Jake, who winds up getting that hole-in-one towards the in the movie. But I liked how Conroy gives him the respect that he deserves, but also too, I thought that when Brandy shows up at the golf course, I would love to actually see that relationship get repaired before the tournament, and not just all of a sudden she showed up. That's like the little
Yeah,
small nitpicky thing that I had.
yeah. Yeah. I was just like, oh, you just kicked him out of the house, but you're fine with it all of a sudden. It
That was
was
something that I just didn't get. It's like
uh,
I would like to see a little bit more of self repair, or show her
mhm.
going through the emotions of the fact maybe I am being too hard on him. Maybe I need to go on ahead and show support his passions,
Yeah.
regardless of
It's
the fact
been
of
7 years.
right.
He's been clean since then. He's working
All
on
except that
it.
one mishap at work.
That one, minus the LSD drink or whatever whatever Nick gave him. Oh, I I also would have liked to have seen more like scenes of the team bonding, like or
Mm.
working together, like Emily and what was the fourth member they added? What was his name? He when he
Oh,
got
right, the guy that got denied. The
yeah. What was
To be
his?
honest,
Because he also just showed up. Like he was in that one scene where he was getting rejected by the rival country club, and then he was suddenly there. I was like, yeah, I'll join your team, and I'm like, cool, I'm for it. But like, I don't know him. I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to see what kind of rapport he would have with the rest of the team. Because like I thought Emily, they did a couple of things with Emily, but she also wasn't that fleshed out, and I would have liked to see more character growth for those two.
same here. I think those are the biggest things to me that needed more growth. I like seeing the guy, dude. I really did, but I wanted to see more of him, maybe going through other places before he got to them, other country
Mm-hmm.
clubs. And be like, well, this one doesn't work for me. I'm gonna go with another country club, and just him looking for a country club, and then him going into this country club and like, okay, these guys are okay. These are the guys that I want to actually be around, and then have the relationship a little bit tightened with them. And then also too
Yeah,
with Emily, I wanted a little bit more, maybe a small little part of the backstory with her. To be
yeah,
honest with you, of what got her into golf, what made her decide to be with Conroy after all these years, especially seeing him struggle.
right. Yeah, it seemed like the Fred got most of the spotlight in terms of the female cast members, and Fred wasn't even part of the. I thought Fred was going to be on the team
Me
because
too.
like she was such an influence. So I'm like, oh, Fred, but then it was Emily, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, are we going to learn about Emily? And it's like, not really.
No, but I think with Fred though, she's actually just the tough, badass bartender that serves people, that doesn't take
Mm-hmm.
no crap from anybody, and I think that's the character that she was supposed to play. And also support her boyfriend all of a sudden. But but still, I thought that her character was actually placed very well though,
Oh yeah,
at the
she was
and
great
very
as like
fitting for her character.
the voice of reason. Thought I was like, yes, Fred, give us your wisdom, please. And I
Oh
love
yeah,
that her name was Fred. That was
me
cool.
too.
I was like,
Yeah, it was
I'm down. Is it short for anything? Fred. I'm like, I'm
okay.
for it. Great
Me
name.
too. Great name, Fred. Great. But also too, I like how the two gay guys are like, one of them goes, you know what, I'm pansexual. And he goes, does that mean you like to screw pans? What does that mean?
Their whole sexcapades in the movie. What's that one old woman, Gladys?
Gladys.
He was like, threesome? And they're like, yeah. It was just like, oh no.
No.
Oh. The movies I can't praise the comedy in this enough because that's the type of humor that makes me laugh, where they just sneak up on you and it catches me off guard. I was not expecting something like that.
Me either. Like, everything about this movie just catches you off guard, to the point where I would have to say maybe the frat guys are kind of like us in a way, where we're kind of making fun of them and goofing off, but then there's like the slightest little things that they do that just throws us off guard, to where it's like, what the hell are you
Yeah.
doing?
Wait a minute. Something's not right.
But what did you think about the commentary? The two people that were talking during the sports announcements and stuff like that.
I thought they were hilarious. Like once again, they catch me off guard. It's like, oh, just stick to the script. Well, this douchebag is up, and I'm like, wait, what? The biggest douchebag is about to, I'm like, oh my god.
And he's like, I don't even know who the hell this guy is. Just stick to the script. And I felt like that was like the director just saying, you know what? It doesn't even matter who they are. Just read the script. Just read the lines. And because this douchebag is up, and I love that. I love the commentary. The commentary was my favorite part of the movie because most commentators on games are actually kind of boring. Yeah. With them, they actually made it a lot more exciting and everything. And you're wondering what the next punchline is going to be, so that way you can actually laugh. I was like, can we focus more on them a little bit? I would like to just see stuff on the commentators a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I feel like in a sports comedy, it's like vital for commentators to be also crazy. I would have liked for them to push it a bit more with the commentators. Like just go all out, make them just say the most outlandish stuff.
Like on Dodgeball, where he goes, yeah, you really couldn't.
I was getting a Dodgeball vibe. Right. Once again, Dodgeball. Dodgeball vibe.
We need to review that.
And next up on a review, Dodgeball.
But, I love the comedy in it. It catches you off guard. It's original. It's authentic. It's something that's totally different than what I was expecting. Also, too, I like the country club. I like how the angles of the camera of showing us how big this country club actually is, instead of it making it look like it's one-dimensional, very small. And I like that even at the very end, though, man, like when we wind up seeing the final shot that Jake takes, and he has to get this thing over the pond and into the hole, I'm like, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, some really beautiful shots in this movie. I feel like there was a lot of drone footage, which I thought was well done. Like, yeah, I was like, I want to go golfing now. That looks like a beautiful, like the scene where the bad guys are just roasting the golf course. I was just like that. I'm not a golf expert, but that looks pretty beautiful to me.
Right. Even though it does have like do not crossing signs on what in the woods.
Yeah. Like even though it's supposed to look raggedy, I was like, it's like it still looks good. Like for me, I'm down.
Right. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to mess with that side or anything like that. I'll just go to the 8th hole after. I don't even need to go to the 7th hole. I'll just skip that one and go to the 8th one. It doesn't even matter.
This movie was a good time. I wasn't, I was kind of apprehensive at first. I was like, comedies, they can be hit or miss, but sitting down and watching it, I was like, this is a lot of fun. I could see myself like having a drink and watching this movie again sometime, honestly.
It definitely does have like a cheerful aspect to the film, and also has like a very good family kind of, not family vibe, but
not family, not for families.
No. But it just to enjoy with your friends and just to sit down and goof off with the guys. That's what I got from it.
Yeah, I would definitely add this to my golf movie marathon, which I have plenty of golf movies I need to catch up on.
Like Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore.
Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore. What's another one? The Greatest Game Ever Played, I think.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
What's weird is I don't like golf on TV, but I'll watch sports
movies. Real golf? No, but put it in a movie all day.
Exactly. So what about any other cons for you or anything like that? Or did you pretty much?
Only just that I felt some of the relationships, mainly the romantic ones, felt kind of forced and out of nowhere. Like the Fred and Nick thing, I don't know why that bothered me. It was just like, wait, no, you guys are just bitter friends. Like he can't. Oh, he's the baby daddy too. Like, oh,
right now all of a sudden he's having a kid, and I'm like, I would like to see more context with you guys than
like
just bringing that on.
If they kissed in the beginning of the movie, like when they first like, oh hey babe, well, I'd be like, great, got it. They're together and they bicker a lot, but they love each other. I would have been on board.
Same.
But yeah. Other than that, This was a fun movie.
It was. I
I had a
definitely
good
recommend
time.
it.
Yeah, I would watch it again. I would watch
Same
it again.
here. Another thing too is speaking of kissing, even when Conroy's kissing and Nick comes up to him, goes, "Oh, no!" Jake comes up to him and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I almost interrupted you, almost kissing." He goes, "No, we were kissing. Oh, sorry."
I did really like that the part where the gay guy kept going up to Boyd's dad and was like, "Hey, so should I get our usual place at the hotel? Not now, not here."
You know what? I thought he was going to use that to like blackmail him or something like that. I thought that because he wouldn't go through with the deal, the bet that Conroy and him set up. So I was thinking, okay, are they trying to use this like as a blackmail kind of deal or whatever? But
Yeah.
they just did it for like a little small snicker here and there to get some laughs out. So I was totally fine with that.
And I liked that the characters didn't really make a big deal out of that. They're like, "Oh yeah, this guy, yeah, he's gay and he's having sex with our rival owner." That's fine.
That's totally fine. And then
It
even
just made me
now,
laugh.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. It just made me laugh where they were making fun of the son about it, the douchebag son, and he's like, "No, shut up. He's happy." And I'm like, "Oh, that's all that matters. He's happy. Well, at least he loves his father as long as he's happy." And I'm like, I liked that.
I do too. I like the fact he was supportive of his father and everything. He's like, you know what? He may be a lot of things, but at least he's happy, and that's all I care about.
Just don't have sex on the green.
Like, look, we have to go ahead and pick your dad up again. He's naked again. Last time I told you not to talk about my dad, but
he's happy.
And then another thing too. One last thing before we close out that I thought that was actually pretty funny though too was when you have like the Street Fighter thing that the prep guys were doing. Oh, nuke it! And then Jake started doing it to them.
Hadouken! You see how stupid that looks?
Right.
It's not stupid.
It's not stupid. And then he's like, "What? He did it earlier." But yeah, this movie is definitely a good time. I recommend it. It may not look good in the trailer, and here's the thing, guys. I've seen
comedies never look good in the trailers.
No.
Comedies never look good in the trailers. Every comedy that I've seen a trailer for, I'm like, I'm gonna have to watch it.
That's how I felt with Forgetting Sarah Marshall, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Whenever I first saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't know about this. Then all of a sudden I go out and see it. I'm laughing my butt off from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
And, sure. I'm just going to say this. I've seen good movies, good trailers to bad movies. I've seen bad trailers for bad movies. So it could go either way and everything else. So, I would actually try and see this if you guys ever get a chance to. I'd like to know what filming was like for this during the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. For everyone, I assume it's challenging, but I would like to know that too.
All right. Well, if you guys are the director or the producer, we would like to know and everything later on, and if you'd like to be interviewed or anything like that. So,
yeah, for sure.
With that being said, Alex, where can everybody follow you at?
You guys can follow me. I'm here at Movie Lovers Unite, as you all know. But you can also find me at A-Town Reviews on YouTube. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at ATownAlex3. I post random things. We can chat about movies. I look forward to talking with you all.
All right. And we just got done shooting our spoiler review for The Batman. You guys can go on ahead and check that out on our channel. A matter of fact, Alex actually has a spoiler-free one, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you want to come over and visit ours, though, too, Alex is on ours doing a spoiler review with none other than Motor City Nerds, and she was just fantastic on the show as well. Go on and support Abby on her channel, support Alex on his channel, on everything that they do. They do an awesome job on both platforms. I couldn't ask for a better co-host other than Alex to do this show. So Guys, go on ahead and follow me underneath Movie Lovers Unite, underneath the brand name on Instagram and on Pinterest as well. If you would like to get an audio-only podcast every episode, you can get that where you guys get your major podcasts from. Of course, go on ahead and rate individual episodes over at Good Pods. That's basically social media for people that love listening to podcasts, or if you're a podcaster yourself, rate individual episodes. Tell us what you think of those episodes. And also, too, you can also tip us over at Good Pods as well if you want to tip $5 to $10 over there. But also, too, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/movie lovers, and that's how you can donate to us as well. So that's actually going to be a new thing now. We're not going to do the GoFundMe thing because that link is a little too long. So I think the GoFundMe, just doing buy me a coffee /movie lovers would actually be the beneficial one for you guys. So go ahead, buy us a coffee, buy us a couple of rounds of coffee, get us jacked up on coffee, and that's what you guys can do. And so another thing too is go ahead and follow me underneath Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter, Movie Lovers Unit 0 on TikTok, and then of course email me at movieloversunite@gmail.com, and that's everywhere you can reach us at. Thank you again, Alex. It's always a pleasure to be able to do these reviews with you. You're very welcome. And I just want to tell the producer, thank you so much for sending this in. It means a lot to me when directors or producers are sending us in stuff and we're not going to them, they're coming to us. It just warms my heart and my soul to know that we're doing something right here and where people feel safe to know that we're going to take care of their baby, which is their film, and give it a proper review that they want. So always until next time, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. I can't wait to do this again.